to enter the residence at number 2 Renee Circle before the complete SWAT team was in position?
Yes, there was. Operator Brunson, when we had approached that area, we could hear a female yelling for help. We could see her. He made the decision at that time, and he radioed that we needed to go, and we needed to go soon.
And did you in fact go and go soon?
We did. We formulated a plan that we would cut a fence, and we would make entry through the sliding glass, and then we would go inside and clear the house. So as soon as we got enough people to handle those tasks, we did enact that plan.
Okay. And what did you do about the glass barrier? What would you do?
In that instance, we used an operator who used a device. I believe in this case it was one of the devices we call Thor's hammer. It's a long pole, has a handle on the end, and it has a rake, a piercing object on the end with a type of a rake, so that you can bust the glass and then also rake it out of the way so that your team can safely go in without having to be cut or harmed or injured by the glass or things like
And of course you all are armed.
that. We are armed.
Are you armed with your normal firearm that you carry, or do you have other equipment?
On that day I was armed, and most all SWAT call-outs, I'm armed with my handgun, which we refer to as our secondary weapon. And then I also had my primary weapon, which would have been my M4 rifle, which is a .223 caliber rifle.
And once that glass window was breached, what happened?
When the glass window was breached, the team made our entry. I was one of the front men in that entry. And we made, our initial entry was immediately into that living area, I guess you would say, through the glass door. There was a quick sweep through there to make sure, obviously, that no one was in there at that time that could, that was an immediate threat to us. And then from there, we continued to push to the resident while other operators held that area.
Okay. And would one of the operators have pulled out the person you believe to be the victim, the one sitting just inside the sliding glass door?
Yes, one of the goals of that is anyone who's injured and needs immediate medical attention, we will try to extract them as soon as possible and get them that attention that they need. If it looks like we can transport them safely to us, them, and also their condition. Their condition may warrant the fact that if we move them, it could do further damage.
And did you, the woman that was just inside the glass, did you see if she was holding anything, or did you?
She was holding an infant, and she was kind of sitting back and rocking back and forth, and she continued to yell for us to help her.
And did she or the baby appear to be injured?
She did appear to be injured. This is one of the things I think back to, and I don't know that I've pushed it out of my mind or whatever, but I don't remember the specific injuries to the child or anything like that. I do remember she was holding a child, but I don't remember, specifically what those injuries were.
Okay. And did one of the operators take her and her baby immediately out of the residence?
Yes, I know that an operator did take the baby and move him out of the residence. When that was going on, as that began, Operator Vermillion and I began pushing to the other areas of the residence, secure them, to make sure that we didn't have a threat somewhere else inside the residence.
Okay. And once you got past the female and her baby, did you see anybody else in the immediate living room area?
In the living area, there was the female, the infant, and then there was 2 male subjects lying on the ground.
And at that point, were they both posing a threat to you?
At that point, they were not posing a threat. Both were laying on the ground. One of them appeared to be had noticeable injuries, and operators would have continued to cover them to make sure that they couldn't become a threat.
Okay. So 2 operators, one would have gone to, at least 2 operators would have gone to each individual, correct?
Yeah, or at least taken a position where that they could cover multiple people at the same time. For instance, if you had 2 subjects here, you wouldn't want to stand in the middle. You might stand in an area where you could see both of them and cover them both at the same time.
And once that would have occurred, does the rest of the team continue to go through the house?
Yes, we had communicated at that point that who was going to stay with these individuals, and the rest of us would have moved through and continued our sweep to the residence and secured it.
Okay. And did you go to any of the bedrooms in that home?
Yeah, Operator Vermillion and I did push through. We moved to a rear bedroom in the residence and cleared that room.
And so you would have had your rifles drawn?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you find anybody in the bedrooms?
In the closet of the rear bedroom, we opened the closet to clear it to check for threats, and we found a male and female child in the closet.
And they appear to be hiding?
They were very scared. They were hiding. The male child was holding a toy gun, and he was sitting next to the female, and they were huddled tightly. And he was pointing the gun, holding it like this, and towards our direction. And I had mentioned to him that we are the police, we're here to help, and that everything's going to be okay.
And you weren't in uniform, you were in your SWAT gear, correct?
That's correct. Our gear is, it consists of course, a green ballistic helmet, a balaclava, which protects our face from fire flashbacks and things like that. And then, of course, we would have goggles on. And then we have heavy body armor, which consists of Kevlar, and then also has ceramic plates for rifle fire. Then on top of that, we'd carry our magazines and our gas mask and things of that nature. And then also we wear green BD shirt and pants.
And from a child perspective, could they mistake you for military?
Yes.
And did you identify the two children? Did you know at that time?
They were later identified. I didn't myself identify them.
Okay. And then they appear to be, you said upset?
Yes.
Okay. Did they say anything to you or Officer Vermillion?
Yes, when I told them we were the police, it's going to be okay. We're here to help you. I believe the first thing he said to me was she told us to get in the closet. And I said, well, it's going to be okay. We'll take care of it now.